Thanks to their victory at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles to cap off the mid-season showdown, Cloud9 is North America's representative in Iceland for the mid-season invitational. Well, you know us at Facecheck. As always, LS-Dom and I have a lot to say about, well, everything. But we talked about Cloud9 a lot. From lock-in tournament, off-season moves, is Fudge, how's Fudge doing? Perkz, is he great? Is he not? Uma John, meet Deathly, to becoming mid-season showdown champs. Facecheck is taking a week off, so what better way to revisit our thoughts on the North American champs than looking at what we said earlier? So without further ado, take it away, past me.
The bad team that looks bad in CLG. We hit the team with a bad record that looks good in Golden Guardians. How about a team that started off with high expectations and then the panic button came on in, but the record looks pretty good? And they look pretty good too. Yeah, I'm talking about Cloud9. They're in the process of remembering it's just a preseason tournament, or panic that you spent $5 million on Perkz and he doesn't look great yet and he leads the league in deaths.
I hate this narrative so much. This one just makes me angry because it's like the people that fucking are criticizing Perkz just don't even know who Perkz is. They clearly just don't know what type of player he is and why he's useful. They expect Perkz to come in and just like shit on every fucking laner and be like 20 CS up. It's like, that's what they think Perkz is. Perkz is the guy that's going to fucking win you games. Like, he'll find ways to win games that are fucking unwinnable. So, and he's also somebody that scales, right? Like, Perkz just gets better and better and better. It happens every fucking time. Even when he looked bad as an AD carry last split, by the time it got to playoffs, by the time it got to Worlds, he's one of the better performing members. The idea that people like, think the perception that people have of Perkz is so far from what makes him such a special player. And that's just like, that's really fucking annoying as somebody who actually watches other leagues. You can tell that a lot of the LCS fans don't actually watch LEC and haven't watched his career to understand him as a player.
I agree with you. I agree with everything that you just said. I think a lot of people, I mean, myself included, his laning is really, really bad overall. And so I think that when people are looking at this, they're thinking, what is it that makes this person import level? Because if we only evaluate him by his laning, he's not import level.
Cloud9 and TSM, back and forth. And one thing that the guys wanted to do this week was break down the drafts between these two teams. So we have the drafts here on your screen between Cloud9 and TSM. What did you think of this series, Tom?
I mean, it was definitely the closest one we had. I feel like both these teams are playing so far under the level that we'll eventually see them at least I hope so. But there are like some things that I see where I feel like they could either be issues or they could be benefits. So for Fudge, I'm actually pretty scared. I know he played game 2 and game 3 like pretty well, but I don't know. I feel like Fudge's laning phase seems really sketchy to me. Like the way he trades in lane, it seems strange. Like, for example, in this game that we have up right here, he's like trading in ways when his jungler is pathing bot, where it's going to naturally push the wave when he knows the enemy jungler is pathing topside. And I feel like all these things can be exploited really hard. So I'm really scared to see like what a better top laner will do to Fudge. Like, I feel like if he goes against an Alphari or an Impact, I mean, we saw what Impact did to him originally, but I feel like those laners will outperform him quite a bit. I think that, he looks more raw than I expected. I heard from a lot of people that he was like the absolute best Academy top laner, but I don't know like what made him the best. I didn't watch Academy, and I'm not sure what's not transferring over, because it doesn't feel like his lane phases are super good, and I don't think his map play has been excellent either. So,
all right, let's move on to the finals. Cloud9 versus TL here. We got the matchup that we all thought we were going to get, the one that we all wanted. Cloud9 literally took the long route there, taking 3 games in that best of 3, 5 games in the best of 5, and then bringing on over to the finals here and almost reverse sweeping TL until they harnessed the power of the bear. What were the big takeaways from this matchup that you had, Dom?
I mean, I kind of said it earlier, but the fact that C9 optically played a lot worse but almost won, I think shows something about like their mentality. I feel like this team, there's something about like, and it's really hard to say, right? Like, I don't have inner access to the team, even though I'm on Cloud9. I don't fucking like know how the team dynamic is. But for some reason, like, Perkz teams are always resilient, and I respect that they were able to actually win games in the series when they were really outskilled. So Yeah, I mean, I definitely think like props to them for that, and then also Fudge being able to, take the L in draft and find ways to be useful. I thought that was like at least respectable. Because most people in that situation would just be ready to fucking get 3-0'd and just roll over and die. But they actually battled back, and it was nice to see that they still have like some heart at least. So, I mean, my major takeaways are that Perkz is playing bad for Perkz, but when Perkz is playing bad for Perkz, it's like one game away from being the best team in NA already, right? So that to me like matters. I'm like, damn, if this is an underperformance, what happens like when he starts playing well?
With actually the game of the week that we had, which was Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves. Let's start there. I think that's the one I want to start with. Do we have that one? Yeah, we should have that one. There we go. Game of the week. Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. That one was a lot of fun. It kind of extended back to what we saw in the lock-in, the caster said, and it just felt like a back and forth battle between these two. Eventually, Cloud9 giving 100 Thieves their first loss.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I like this game. Go for it, LS. No, you first.
No, you take it away, Dom. You are Cloud9 after.
No. You know what, LS, man? I know you're gonna have a good take here, so you can go ahead.
All right, I mean, this game was more like Cloud9 versus 100 Sins with the way that this one played out. This was so unenjoyable to watch if you're like a fan of high level play, because this was a clown fiesta. There were so many kills in this game. The game was unlosable for Cloud9 in the early and mid stages. And then Blabber, who was like on track to basically be the MVP in the early start of the game, started like throwing it back into 100 Thieves. And then obviously shut down golds, comeback XP, all this other good jazz. 100 Thieves suddenly actually look like they're probably going to win it. And then 100 Thieves start throwing, and then Cloud9 gets control again. And then at the end of it, I mean, I felt like Perkz just ended up being the MVP. I think I even tweeted out that I anticipated like Blabber to get the MVP in like a weird like alternate reality type situation, but that Perkz should actually get it. This game was not clean by any means. This game was a complete mess, and I don't know. The mid game was just a disaster.
To head on over to TL and Cloud9. That was another matchup that we got to see between two teams that we thought would tussle at the top. There's a lot of T's in terms of the standings, and TL able to pick up the win there on the final day in the final match of the week 3. Guys, thoughts here on I would say this match and also the direction that these two teams are going, as we're starting to see Perkz grow in power, but this was one of the few games where it felt like he got stunted there.
I don't know. I don't know where to come down on Perkz in this game. I think he was probably their best performing member. So there's something that Crepo brought up in my co-stream that I thought was actually like a pretty valuable point. So if you can bring up like the Perkz quickly, we can talk about the lane phase and like how Perkz intentionally tries to like sacrifice HP to bounce the wave and like get it into like a good state for him after his TP. Now, like obviously this is saying that hey, he's going to be playing around the gank, but it's something that I hadn't considered. Like I was like, oh, I think Perkz is kind of just like trading poorly here. With his CP, is he actually trying to set up like this type of gank? But I mean, it ended up working, and it's something that Crepo vouched for, like a legitimate discussion that they had in G2 about playing a lot of these lane matchups. So I thought that was really interesting. If you go to this bounce right here, okay, we go forward. So he plays to bounce the wave and TP, bounces the wave, TPs. And at this point, the wave is like frozen in front of his turret and he has an HP advantage. So this is like what he's playing for. This is what he's trying to get Jensen. But Jensen, this is like a lane state that he's trying to bait Jensen into essentially. The thing is, Jensen can live here 100% if he just like stands in a better position, procs his phase rush, and walks out. But I mean, I think that this game was really hard for mid Lucian to play throughout most of it. It's like the bot lane thing that ruined the entire game, in my opinion.
No, yeah, I think I actually had this exact conversation on stream that I think it's ridiculous to intentionally trade that poorly. Like he's making so many gambles, right? Intentionally trading super poorly, committing his teleport to something that in theory Jensen and another pro player can just play correctly and not die to, right? And Perkz, if anyone asked him, would you ever die to such Lucian play, he would say no himself, right? This is like accounting for mistakes before they happen. And while you should acknowledge that mistakes are likely to happen in the game, you can't know which ones and when, right? Like, it's just a given that mistakes will happen, but you can't account for which ones are going to happen. And you shouldn't pre-plan. That's just a horrible fucking way to go about playing the game.
Cloud9 take down 100 Thieves 3-0 with Cloud9 soaring over the skies over the Hamburglers. And, you know, games 1 and 2, closer, you know, with the Baron steals, but Cloud9 felt in control of this one the whole way. And also game 3 kind of felt like a mental boom there with closer just kind of, yep, getting counter jungled. Yep, I'm going to go in there. Hey, they're rotating on you. Yeah, I'm still getting this Gromp. All right, I'm dead. Good luck, guys. And Cloud9 sail to a 3-0 victory on this one. All right, Dom, thoughts on this series here?
I mean, I just want to give my thoughts on 100 Thieves, I guess, where I feel like 100 Thieves has just like ruined their team. Like, they used to have an identity. Like, I mean, the fact that like Alice used to meme them as like 100 sins or whatever, I feel like that version of 100 Thieves looks like vastly better than this new version of like, now they just look like a media, like they look like a team that's trying to be a top team that will never be as good as the top teams.
You know what? Actually, I don't know if dGon can get it.
Soul.
The clip in game 1, the clip where I lost my mind. Do you know what I'm talking about? Cloud9 versus 100 Thieves.
Let me take your time, explain it, or talk about something else.
It's in game number 1. It's the random team fight in middle at like 30 minutes in the game. Look at the minimap. There's nothing. There's no dragon. There's 4 minutes until dragon. The enemy can't do Baron. You just had a ward on it. Lily is clearing it.
It doesn't
You see
feel
them.
good to use them.
You know where they are.
To just treat people with infinity or
can
place
fucking
Blade
see
of
all of
Iron
them.
King.
You know that.
Okay.
You can see them all, man. Why are you in middle?
Here we go.
You can see them all. There's no camp. There's no minion wave. They're not on Baron. There's no dragon. Why are you in mid?
Mid control is all I would say.
It's match fixing levels of bad. If this was an RTS, the team would be disqualified. I said the same thing about Fnatic. Fnatic did the same thing. There's no way all 5 players
I'm gonna choke
have
and
their
it's gonna be
eyes
more
open
desirable than watching
for
this.
30 seconds. They're all closed. They're all just closed and they're clicking forward. There's no way.
Are out
Their monitors are off.
right now.
Dude, I can't. I can't. How does anyone watch this
in this game? Oriana doing negative damage.
There's nothing going on. Like there's no, you can't defend it. It's like
literally
this is like when you play this in court, the person just admits, yeah, I'm guilty.
There's
Like,
no dragon, and they can't be a
oh my god.
Why are you in the middle?
I don't.
You got a hot date? Is there a hot date or what?
Okay, so I want to look towards peak North American League of Legends in Cloud9 TL. This is the matchup that we've expected. Top 2 teams that have been performing. Perkz, Jensen. Lots of storylines here. Where do you bring it to first, LS?
I mean, oh god. All right, listen. Cloud9 is gonna win. Okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
This is where I think I'm different than you. I actually think TL's gonna win.
You think TL's gonna win? I think it's really close.
1%.
I really do
think it's
that,
really close too.
I think it's really close, but it's Cloud9 in the best of series. Well, I mean, I know that we had the lock-in, right? But I don't know. Interestingly enough, I had Fudge on my co-stream, right, for the T1 match yesterday, T1 versus Chovy. So I asked him, you know, what he thought going into the series, and I think he gave me an actual honest answer that he thinks that they're slightly favored. And I say that because about a week ago he said TL was favored. So I mean, I think his answer's honest. I could see them beating TL. I mean, TSM can take a game. Cloud9 can take a series. Like
LCS happened. We had ourselves a 3-1 series with TL versus TSM, and TL dispatched them in emphatic fashion in game number 4 before Cloud9 took down TL in a entertaining to watch best of 5. Pentakill came through. They had themselves a face melting performance over at the Greek Theater. What'd you think of the outdoor setting for this type of event, because a lot of the time it's always indoors. Outdoors changes things up, Dom, a little bit. And I know it happens in Korea a little bit more or less, but what did you think of it, Dom?
So I actually was thinking about this more. I feel like the teams played like under the level that they would normally play at. And I think that a lot of it did have to do with like the environment. I don't think that the environment was like good at all for the players. I mean, if you just look at Sven, right, from game one, he's like red, you know, he's like sunburnt red from playing. And I actually feel like that does like have this level of like there should be some level of comfort for the players like while playing, so you can get like top quality gameplay. And I feel like the venue just didn't really match it. Like I don't like the playing outside like in the heat for players if they're not used to it. I think that that's something that's just like it doesn't even change that much. Like let's say that it was inside like an enclosed area where they are actually able to like see their monitors. We even heard Sven in an interview say that he like there was like a glare on the screen and it was hard to like read timers. I think anything like that should just immediately be like thrown out. Like that should be tested. If there's any type of effect on gameplay from the venue, I think that it's just not worth it. Like I'd rather watch the players in the LCS studio and watch like a quality game than watch them outside without fans anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I thought the same thing. Once I heard that apparently like sunlight was actually coming in or it was affecting the view, right? Didn't Sven complain about that or something? Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just seems like they sacrificed potential quality of gameplay in order to have something outdoors. But I mean, I feel like it's another missed mark. You know, like other regions didn't do this or need this, right? Like, I don't know. It felt like it was something that no one actually asked for.
LS, I'm gonna pose this to you. Was this the finals that you wanted to see in terms of quality of play, knowing that maybe the setup of the stage was an issue?
No, I mean, I ended before game 5, mostly because I mean, I don't know. I was going for a really long time at that point. I was really disappointed and also kind of like angry with the level of play, but like everything that was going on inside of the games. And then I was also like angry, almost in a way at like some of the people in Cloud9, right? And I know that I talked about that on stream. I talked about it with Fudge the day after too. Like from the picks to the gameplay to the way that it ended. I mean, game 5, I watched the first 10 minutes. I thought the first 10 minutes was probably like the best thing of the entire series.
Yeah, it was the best thing of the entire.
It was,
yeah, for sure.
It was by far the best thing of the entire series. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm curious what the players thought. Like, I mean, I had Fudge on the stream after, right, to talk about the games. I mean, a lot of people felt the same way. And I feel almost alienated, right? Because when I see Twitter and I see Reddit and everyone's like, "Oh, the series was great. Like this finals was great," and all this other stuff, I'm like, "Fuck." It's not a good feeling. Yeah.
I would like to see Cloud9 play against Mad Lions at some point, and I would like to see like what team is actually better right now, because I don't think that Mad Lions is like. I think Mad Lions is pretty exploitable. I tweeted about this, but I think that their champion pools are exploitable. And yeah, I mean, I feel like they can definitely be beaten a lot easier than like G2 or Rogue for Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, so. I think Cloud9 will get out with it. Yeah, Cloud9, Don1 are both going to get out. Mad Lions is going to get out. I don't know enough really about the other regions, so that one's going to be exciting. I'm sorry, OCE, but there's no Cinderella story. And then, yeah.
So just for clarification, if people don't know, it's kind of different than any other format that we've seen before as well. So like the adaptation, it is 3 groups of 4, and the top 2 from each group will make it. So you'll go from 12 teams to 6 teams, and then you'll go from 6 teams down to 4 teams, and that's how you get a bracket, because usually brackets are based off of...
Is there actually going to be like a bracket? Is there like a loser's bracket, or is it just going to be
No. But yeah, I'd imagine it's going to be like what LPL, hopefully, LCS against LCK, LEC in the knockout stage.
Yeah, that's so rough. I mean, either FPX or RNG, it doesn't matter. Both teams are fucking strong. I can't see anyone besides for Dom1 potentially beating them.
Where do you think Cloud9 will finish in MSI? Let us know in the comments. Facecheck will be back next week to break down everything MSI and set you up for success. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching VENN Esports. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below and explore our other videos. In fact, click on the ones on the screen right now. Otherwise, I'll get you.